Welcome to the Floater Insurance Policy. One term, two meanings, quick bite video. It is not usual that the same term used in insurance has got a different meaning in other region of insurance in the globe. Let us look at how this term has got different meaning in USA and India.
You know how you can use a word your whole life, thinking everyone knows what it means, only to find out it means something totally different in another country? Well, that exact same thing happens in the world of insurance, and today we're diving into one of those tricky terms. So let's get right to it. The big question we're tackling today is, what exactly is a floater policy? Now, you'd think there's a simple one-size-fits-all answer, right? But as you're about to see, it's not quite that easy. It's actually a bit of a puzzle.
And here is the twist. The definition of a floater policy completely changes based on where you are in the world. What it means to someone in Mumbai is completely different from what it means to someone in Minneapolis. And understanding that difference, well, it's absolutely crucial.
Okay, so before we get into the different regional meanings, we've got to understand the one thing they both have in common. And really, the clue is right there in the name, floater. The core concept is all about insurance coverage that isn't tied down to one place.
So when you boil it all down, a floater policy is designed to cover property that can move around or isn't stuck at one single address. Just picture the coverage itself floating around instead of being anchored to one building. But how that idea is put into practice, that's where it gets really interesting.
Let's start our journey in India. Over here, the term floater policy has a very specific and pretty common use, especially in business. Here, the floating concept means you have one single policy that stretches its coverage over many different places.
In India, you'll actually hear the term floater used in a couple of ways. You might have a family health insurance plan where one big pot of money is shared by everyone in the family. But for our purposes today, we're focusing on its main use in the business world, and that's in fire insurance.
Okay, so this is really cool. A floater policy in India is perfect for a business that has its inventory, its stock, spread out across a bunch of different locations, like several warehouses or maybe a few retail stores. Instead of the headache of buying a policy for each and every spot, they can just get one. That total amount of insurance then floats and can be used wherever it's needed most.
This chart makes it super clear. So let's say you have a company with stock in 3 different warehouses. Instead of juggling 3 policies, you've got this one floater policy for 90 lakh rupees total. Now imagine a fire breaks out in warehouse B. Even though the stock there was only valued at 40 lakh, the entire 90 lakh coverage is available to cover that loss. It's just a much more flexible and efficient way to do things.
All right, now let's hop over to the United States because the picture changes completely. Here, a floater policy means almost the exact opposite. It's not about one policy for many locations. It's about one policy for one item that travels to many locations.
So here's the key difference. In the US, a floater policy is coverage that is literally attached to a specific, valuable thing. The insurance doesn't stay in one place. It follows that object wherever it happens to go.
And these policies are usually for high-value items that get moved around a lot. We're talking about things like a professional photographer's expensive camera gear, a musician's cherished cello, a valuable piece of art being shipped to a gallery, or even heavy equipment for a contractor. The insurance protects the item itself, no matter where it is.
Let me give you a really simple example. Let's say you have a very valuable diamond ring, and you get a jewelry floater policy for it. That ring is fully covered, whether it's locked away in your safe at home, whether you're wearing it to dinner downtown, or even if you take it with you on a vacation to Paris. The coverage literally follows the ring.
All right, so we've looked at 2 very different definitions. Now it's time for that aha moment. Let's put them side by side and see just how differently this one single floating idea can be applied around the world.
This slide says it all, doesn't it? In India, a floater means one big pool of insurance money that covers stock across multiple fixed locations. But in the US and the UK, it means coverage for one movable item that travels across countless unfixed locations. It's the same root idea of floating coverage, but it grew into 2 completely different branches.
So you might be thinking, okay, that's interesting, but why does this really matter? Well, in the world of global business, a simple misunderstanding like this can have some pretty huge consequences.
Here's the big takeaway. In global business, you have to be precise. Imagine a business owner from India calls up their broker in the US and asks for a floater policy to cover their warehouses. That American broker is going to think they want to insure a specific piece of equipment, not all the inventory inside. That kind of mix-up could lead to the wrong coverage, and if something bad happens, the financial hit could be absolutely devastating.
And this quote right here just drives the whole point home. It says that in the US and similar markets, a floater is specifically not used for inventory in different fixed locations, which of course is the entire point of the Indian version of the policy. It's a direct contradiction hiding in plain sight behind the very same name.
And that leaves us with a final thought to chew on. The floater policy is just one example. It really makes you wonder, right? What other common business terms are we all using every day, just assuming they mean the same thing everywhere, when they might have their own secret meanings just across the border?
Thank you for watching the Quick Bite series from www.insuedot.com. Please like and subscribe to our videos for you to get notification when we upload new videos.